Hey, this video is for you if you want to quit. You're doing something, you're not seeing results, and you're questioning, should you change what you're doing or just keep going? And the reason why I'm making this video is because this type of video hits home for me. If you don't know me, my name is Bianca St. George and I'm a professional soccer player, but this year we had a really rough season. My team, for the first half of the season, we were bottom of the table. We, I think, had one win or two, and all of them were losses, maybe a tie or two. Like, it was really bad. But it was so confusing because when we showed up every single day, we put so much hard work. We had so many attention to details. We would show up super early. It was the earliest I showed up to any other team I've been part of. It's the longest I've stayed, and it's the most attention to details I've ever put in. So I was wondering, should we change what we're doing or should we keep going? Because it's not working right now. We're not doing well. But that's the thing. If you're in a situation right now where you're wondering if you should trust the process or change what you're doing completely, the worst thing you can do is quit altogether, because usually that's right before the results show up. Usually when you're doing the right thing and you know that you're being disciplined and you're making the choices that are supposed to give you the results, yet you don't see the results yet, you have to keep going because the results are right after the moment that you want to quit. The thing is that most people do quit, so they never end up seeing the results, and then they try something new and they never end up making actual progress. But you just need to keep going, because what happened with us and our team is that our second half of the season, we probably would have been in the top 3 of the league if we started the season halfway through the year, because something happened. Something happened after we put half a year of concerted effort into becoming the team that we wanted to be. And now we're finally seeing results. And we didn't change what we were doing. We were obviously adapting and being flexible, but ultimately we kept showing up the same way we showed up every single day. It was just a matter of time. So sometimes what looks like it's not working is just a process that hasn't matured yet. Because now, months later, those same patterns, same habits, same details are finally clicking. So it wasn't that the process was wrong, we just hadn't earned the results yet. And whatever you're doing right now, you might be aiming for something big. You might be extremely ambitious or a high achiever, and I love that about you because I'm the same way. But when you dream that big, it's going to take more time to get there. So you have to be extra patient. And especially if you're doing that alone, it's even harder to be patient, because at least we had each other. I had my teammates, I had a team, so even though it wasn't going well, we were kind of supporting each other. And that's why, again, I love plugging in my private community here, because it's always relatable. My private community, the first link in the description, is exactly for the type of people like you that are high achievers, that want to self-improve, yet they don't have the right people around them to support them, for accountability, for just emotional support. So that's why it's there. It's people like me and you that just need like-minded people around you. Now, I'm experiencing something similar in my life right now where things are slow. With my YouTube channel, I'm getting 200, 300 views, like not a lot of traction here, and it feels like nothing's really moving. And I'm putting so much effort and putting a lot of time, and I'm being consistent, and I know that I'm putting quality content. I know it could be better, but I used to put this same type of content last year and I had double the views. So I'm like, what's happening? And should I change what I'm doing? Should I pivot? Should I try a new style? Should I try a new YouTube channel? You know, there's so many questions I have. So I start asking myself, should I change what I'm doing or should I keep going? But I just trust that I need to keep going, because I've heard it over and over again. When you start having those thoughts, when you know you're doing everything right, the moment that you want to quit is exactly where you need to almost double down to keep going, because the results are right around the corner. And if you want to know if you're in that period of maybe you don't actually think that you want to quit what you do, but if you have the thoughts that, oh, maybe I'm not meant for this, or maybe I should change my niche, and you're going something that's a little bit outside of your plan of what you know you should do, that's a sign that your brain is trying to sabotage you. So don't listen to that. There's a quote I heard a while ago is, mastery always feels like failure in the middle. So if you want to master any skill, if you want to be the best at something, if you want to stand out and be irreplaceable in an industry, when you're in that process of maturing through that and mastering a skill, you're going to feel like a failure in the middle of it, because that's when you've gained a lot of knowledge and you have made progress initially because you were a beginner, and now it's getting stagnant and complicated and difficult and overwhelming, and you almost know too much, but you haven't had the skills to kind of support where the new version of you is meant to exist. It's going to feel like failure, but you gotta keep going. And the results will come, but they would just come maybe a little late. The effort comes early, but the results come late. And the only ones that make it through are the ones that have stayed long enough to see the invisible work finally show. So I want you to ask yourself, do you need to change the path, or do you just need to keep walking it? And I'm telling you, most of the time, if you're doing the right thing, and logically you know you are, you just gotta keep going. If you're in that in-between stage where things aren't clicking yet, don't panic. It's usually where the breakthroughs are. That's why I'm not panicking with my YouTube channel, because I know I'm close to a breakthrough, and my breakthrough might be in a year, but I know it's gonna come. I've been there with soccer, I've been there with YouTube, but I'm not quitting because I know it's going to come, and neither should you quit unless you need to change something. And this is where I'm gonna pivot my YouTube video into how do you really know if you should change or keep going? And I have 4 things that you can look out for. Number 1, think about your results. Do you have no results, or do you have wrong results? If it's not working yet, meaning that you should keep doing what you're doing, it's simply because you're not seeing any results. It's not good, it's not bad, you're just not seeing anything yet. So that usually is a sign that you're still developing the skills, the consistency, the resilience. Like there's something that you're still learning along the way that are necessary for you to get better at before the results show. So those signs are leading indicators that you are growing, even though it's not showing in the external world. It's probably simply an opportunity for you to grow from the inside. So money, followers, wins, opportunities, they might not be arriving yet, but the results that have come to you are all the little opportunities for you to level up in your mindset and your perspectives and how you view things and how you learn things. On the other hand, if it's time for you to change things, it's because you have the wrong approach and you're getting the wrong results. So let's say you're consistently getting negative outcomes, like you're getting worse health, worse sleep, lower energy, resentment, burnout, confusion, and you have literally no sign of any momentum where you do the things consistently and it feels energizing, but you're not having results. That's a different story. That's when you need to start changing things. That's when you need to reevaluate your plan and see what you need to, change, obviously. That was the number 1 thing for you to distinguish between if it's not working yet or it's not working at all unless I change something. The second thing to know if you want to keep doing what you're doing or if you should change something is recognizing, are you getting feedback or friction? So if you're getting feedback, you're basically noticing that people are seeing something about you. They might be making comments about how you're acting, and they might be jealous, they might be supportive, they might be amazed. You personally could also see yourself improving, recognizing that you're doing things a little bit differently, even though it might be slow. So it's okay to feel the resistance sometimes and not feel like you want to do some things, but you should still feel like what you're doing aligns with your vision and values. Like when you think about your long-term goal, let's say you want to be fit and that version of you, if you're still exercising and you're just not seeing results yet, you should still keep doing it because you know that it aligns, even though you're feeling that resistance. So it's basically just not working yet, but you are getting feedback. Maybe the scale is dropping down 0.1 pounds in a few days, which feels like nothing, but it is showing a little bit of something. It's just very slow. On the other hand, if you're having the wrong approach towards something, you will be feeling friction. And when you're constantly hitting friction, you basically dread the process, it drains you, you feel burnout, and the cost of what you're doing outweighs any benefit. So maybe you're putting way too much time into something that is not giving anything in return. It's just not efficient. It's just draining your energy more than anything. So it doesn't feel hard in a way that growth feels hard. It just feels hard because it feels like you're forcing a puzzle piece that doesn't belong there. You have to be very intuitive and wonder, is what I'm experiencing right now feedback or is it friction? And if you take the time to actually sit with yourself and think about it, you will get the answer, I promise you. Now, the third thing to know if you should change or keep going is think about identity alignment. If you want to keep going, just ask yourself if what you're doing aligns with the version of yourself that you want to become. I kind of alluded to that earlier, but I wanted to make a specific point about that because the work that you will be doing will feel meaningful even though it's messy. So for example, with my team, it was easy for us to keep going and keep putting the work to be disciplined and all that because the vision of who we were becoming as a team, the actions we were doing to get there were aligning with that vision. So if logically you're like, it should work out, it actually will work out. You just got to be patient. On the other hand, the wrong approach would be that you're trying to become someone that you're not. So if you're doing some things that feels forceful and you're trying to become something that your parents want, that society wants, that your friends want, that your boyfriend wants, that will not feel good because it's not going to be who you're supposed to be. And in that way, you're going to want to change things. And sometimes it's not necessarily you doing things that has like the right intentions. Like, oh, you wanted to be, a business owner and it turns out that it's not meant for you. So you need to change. Sometimes it's a little bit more dark than this. You might be engaging in low level activities. You might be watching way too much TV, spending way too much time on your phone, partying with the wrong people, wasting time spending money on shopping and stuff. That version of you is also not who you're supposed to be. And it will feel like you are becoming someone that you're not. So it's not that wholesome sometimes. It's not like you on your journey that's trying something new and like, oh, it's not working out. A lot of times people are just not operating as the best version of themselves. And they think that, oh, if I just smoke tonight, it's going to be okay. Oh, if I just eat this junk food, it's going to be okay. But it never really feels good to give yourself that many cheat moments or that many days where you get to sabotage. Like, you're going to get the signs that you're not really acting as the person that you're meant to be. It will feel fake. It will feel heavy. It will feel performative. It would just feel like it's not authentic. And if you're someone that's on social media and wants to develop their personal brand and all that, and let's say you are wondering if you're doing the right thing, if it feels fake, if it feels heavy, if it feels performative, it's usually a sign that you have the wrong approach because it should not have those types of resistance. That's basically saying that you're chasing a version of success that doesn't match your deeper values. For example, right now it's really easy for me to film this YouTube video because I just talk by experience. It's very relatable to my story. I don't have to prepare so much to talk about it because it's just very authentic to who I am. But if I were here to talk about like financial advice on how to invest in a specific stock, that would feel like I'm an imposter because I am, because I don't have the knowledge for that. So when you're trying to become someone you're not, you're going to get the signs, and that will be all the evidence you need to start changing things and changing your approach. Now, the fourth thing is basically some checkpoints that you need to ask yourself. So, have you been consistent enough, long enough to even evaluate your situation fairly? You need to be real with yourself. You need to be real and you need to make sure that you are putting the right inputs, such as time. Have you given yourself enough time? Now, the other question you need to ask yourself is, what's my real motive for wanting to quit or change? Is it you being impatient or are you in misalignment? Also, are you wanting to quit because you're uncomfortable with facing parts of you that you haven't healed? Maybe you want to quit because it's asking you to level up your mindset and you're not willing to do that because it's uncomfortable to face your fears, your limiting beliefs, or like realizing that you were wrong. And then the last question you should ask yourself is, what would I advise someone else in my exact situation? When you start depersonalizing it and putting it more as an objective thing, what would you tell that person going through the same thing you're going through? What would you tell your best friend if they weren't going through the same thing? Overall, if you are seeing some form of progress and feel aligned and have clear goals, you should just keep going because it's likely in the not yet phase. You're just not seeing results yet. So just keep going. And if you're in that period where you're like, oh, this is so annoying, I want to see results, I'm doing all the right things and I'm not seeing it, keep going, because that's where most people quit. And if you want to be on the other side, it's literally a matter of patience, dedication, consistency. You got to keep going. But if it's draining you, if it feels like it's not in alignment and authentic, if you feel like it's built on shaky goals that don't support your deeper values, you might need to take a step back, reanalyze, replan, and pivot. Change some things. And it's okay to change. That doesn't mean you're quitting. That means that you're adapting to what really is meant for you. If it's something didn't work out because it wasn't aligned, great, because you're gonna get one step closer once you start making changes. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Again, if you wanna be surrounded by like-minded people, it's the first link in my description, and I hope to see you there. If not, I will see you very, very soon in a new video. Mwah. Love you.